Presentation on DuPont Escort XP. Product information: it is a dry flowable, means it comes in a granule that dissolves in water when ready to mix. The active ingredient is methylfuron methyl, making up 60% of the chemical. Other inactive ingredients make up the other 40%. Aerial application can be done with a helicopter or ground application with a skidder backpack type sprayer. Can be applied in plantations and non-crop areas that contain temporary surface water, such as between planting beds, equipment ruts, or any depression hole caused by a management activity. It is permissible to apply in areas that are intermittently flooded, low-lying areas. It is permissible to treat marshes, swamps, and bogs after water has receded, as well as seasonally dry flood deltas. Do not apply on or to natural man-made bodies of water, such as ponds, rivers, swimming pools, lakes. Registered for control of many annual and perennial weeds and unwanted woody plants on private, public, and military lands and on rights of way. Ditch banks of dry drainage ditches, certain types of unimproved turf grass, and conifer and hardwood plantations, including grazed areas. Do not use in irrigation dishes. Escort XP controls unwanted plants by post-emergent activity. Best results come from application to the foliage after emergency or post-dormancy. For best control of annual weeds, apply while they are young and growing. For control of perennial weeds, apply during the bud bloom stage. Pine and hardwood plantations, applications are permissible. Site prep for pines may be done, but transplanting should take place the following planting season. When releasing pines, Escort may be sprayed over top slash or loblolly pines to control listed species. Site prep and hardwoods may be done where yellow poplar or red alder are to be planted. They should be transplanted the following growing season as well. Hardwood release can be done in yellow poplar stands to control herbaceous weeds. Best results from pre-emergence through post-emergence.
Have you got some other slides?
Yes, but this is all on this slide.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna move on to directions for use now. It is a violation of federal law to use Escort XP in any way not defined in the label. DuPont, the company that makes and distributes Escort XP, will not be responsible for anything that happens if used in a way not defined in the label. Maximum application on any site is 4 ounces per acre per year. Escort may be used on agricultural crops when properly labeled. The Worker Protection Services WPS applies when this product is to produce agricultural crops. Do not apply in any way that could contact other persons or workers directly or through drift. Only those persons wearing proper personal protective equipment should be in area during spray.
So you can spray it on crops?
You can, but it has to be labeled differently.
Okay. The crop does?
No, the Escort,
So there's a different kind.
there's a different label for that you spray on agricultural crops than what you use in forest activities.
Okay. So it's not the XP?
Probably not.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Product logistics. Escort is absorbed mainly through the foliage of plants and through the roots to a lesser degree. Leaf growth starts to slow down in 2 to 4 weeks, and some foliage discoloration occurs. The final effect in annual weeds is seen in 4 to 6 weeks. The final effect on perennial weeds and woody plants happens in the next growing season after application. Warm, moist weather conditions right after application produce the best results. Dry, cold weather conditions may delay any activity resulting from the application. Resistance. When the same herbicide is used on site over and over to treat the same thing, it builds up a resistance in the site, similar to an immunity. Making the proper application on one of these sites will not produce the intended result. Change out herbicides on a site so that this resistance does not build up and give you one less option for a herbicide. Weeds that have built up in some resistance and are allowed to seed will make things a lot worse. You now have more resistant plants that need to be eradicated. Make records of what you spray, when you spray, where you spray, how you spray, and how effective your application was. This will eliminate some of the possibilities for resistance to build up. For application. Knowing and understanding the risk associated with application is a very important part of using Escort to prevent damage or loss of desirable vegetation or agricultural crops of adjoining landowners. Knowing the texture of the soil, the speed and direction of the winds, vegetation, slope, rainfall, drainage patterns, and other aspects of the area you are treating can be extremely important to protecting yourself from messing up adjoining properties. Thorough evaluation of the chance that the chemical could move off-site is required before application, whether through drift or soil erosion. If there is any possibility at all of off-site movement, do not apply. Agricultural use. Application only permissible in areas allowed by the label if you have the proper label. Do everything in your power to make sure no one gets sprayed or comes in contact with the spray when working in an agricultural setting. Give workers all required PPEs and make sure they use them properly. Always note the time sprayed so everyone is aware when re-entry is allowed. Post a sign if the entry time is necessary after spraying. You have to wait 4 hours before you can re-enter. If it is necessary that someone enters the application area during the restricted entry interval, they must be equipped with the proper PPEs, which are coveralls and shoes with socks for Escort. Conifer plantation application. Look through the weeds controlled and brush species controlled tables in the label to find rates for application of the most difficult to control on site. In the southeast, apply up to 4 ounces per acre for loblolly/pines to transplant the next planting season. In the northeast, up to 2 ounces per acre for red pine, up to 2 ounces per acre for black, white, or Norway spruce, transplant the next growing season. In the west, up to 2 ounces per acre for Douglas fir, Sitka spruce, western red cedar, western hemlock, ponderosa pine, and grand fir. Conifer plantation precautions. If conifers are unhealthy, caused by insects, disease, drought, ice storm damage, wildlife damage, excessive soil moisture shock, then the Escort XP could kill the trees. Herbaceous release must only be done after rainfall has occurred to close the hole where the tree was planted. Do not apply to ornamental trees. May kill conifers that are present on site but not mentioned in the label. Tank mixing. Escort XP may be tank mixed with other herbicides registered for the use sites described in this label. Only use label approved mixtures. Acceptable herbicides to mix with Escort XP are glyphosate, imazapyr, Velpar L or Velpar DF, and Oust Extra. Any questions? Kills kudzu, blackberry.
So what's the main use for this would be for kudzu?
Kudzu, from what I found. And blackberry, that's used a lot to kill blackberry. The other day, whenever we were out on Jordan Timberlands, Chip Miller was saying that that's what they sprayed to kill blackberry.
On right of ways?
No, where they're growing pines.
Oh, okay. Oh. That's right. You make a contact?